and share a little bit about what we just watched today.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to open up the floor if anyone has any questions, comments, anything on their mind, whatever they would like to share with us this evening. No, you're not going to introduce yourself first. No, actually, I think it would be a good way. We'll start from the left and go down.
Great. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this special evening. We really appreciate you all coming out hearing our story. My name is Brittany Delaware, and I played the character of Marsha, of course, completely fictional. And we were asked to kind of share something that we really enjoyed about the play or something that affected us. And I love to share that one of the things I learned as I was preparing for this, we all do our research as actors to really make sure we know the story and the people whose stories we're trying to tell. So a real life person I was really inspired by in the play was Miss Daisy Bates. And something that I learned about her that I didn't know in school was that she went door to door knocking on parents, complete strangers. Some people she knew, other people were complete strangers, and asked them to donate their children to her cause. Please, I'm trying to infiltrate this school. I really want it to be desegregated. She got a lot of no's, but she did get some yeses, so that took a lot of courage. And I just realized today we do a lot of complaining about things we don't like that our government doesn't do, and we just kind of sit back and let things happen. And she took control of her situation, and she went out there and did what she could. So I was really inspired by that.
My name is Andrea, and I played Miss Fannie Lou Hamer. One thing I love about playing this role, I was really able to embody it because it made me feel as though she was my grandmother. She was a sharecropper, and my grandmother was a sharecropper, and she brought her skills home, even though she would not touch the dirt. When she came up north, she made sure that her lineage knew how to grow produce and how to feed their families. And to this day, I have a greenhouse in my backyard. Miss Fannie Lou Hamer, hands down, she is, I was so honored to play her and embody her because she is us. Yes. And thank you, Ms. Terri.
Hi everybody, my name is Nicole. I played Miss Joann Robinson. And kind of been thinking about this question a little bit lately, but I think the thing I keep thinking about is the persistence that these ladies had. Like, I feel like you think about when someone's fighting for something, like, they're very, they're going hard for it and they're doing all these things. These ladies, like, almost died in jail, out here fighting for their lives, getting sterilized, getting hit, acid thrown in their cars, like all these things just to, give us what we can do today, being up on this stage, right, having these privileges that we wouldn't have had they not gone through that. And thinking about what we can do, like Terri started with writing this play, is a huge part of that, and getting their stories out so people can know, and just thinking about what we can do to keep doing that. The stakes are not necessarily as high, which is good, but still, just know it's
Are they not? Ladies and gentlemen, are they not? The stakes are just as high as they were back then, and they are right here. I don't know how many know about being over there, rolling away, when we ain't got it right no more. I'm sorry, baby.
But just to know to commit to something, if you have something that you feel strongly about, fight for it. Do what you can and think about, you have a lot more power than it seems. These ladies put their physical bodies to, to fight for the things that they believed in and fight for their rights. And, we can put ourselves in the same position, and we need to, for the things that we care about and the things that we're still fighting for today.
Yes.
Hi everybody, thanks for coming. My name is Felicia Prison. I play Pauli Murray. Woo! I never heard of Pauli Murray. So I researched her and she was phenomenal. And the thing she went through just to get an education for us, it swells me up and brings tears in my eyes. And I was really, really honored to play her because while fighting for us, she was struggling with her own identity. That had to be a rough time in her life, and I just so honored her, and I honored playing with her, and I honored playing with these beautiful, incredible talents.
Well, hello everyone. So nice to see you all. My name is Diamond Franklin, and I performed as Daisy Bates. Pretty much for myself, I had never heard of any of the ladies, which is that's shameful. But I was so happy to learn about them. Being a part of this project was just such an educational experience. And me, I love history. So, and of course, Miss Terri here, she is just living history. I had known about, like Brown versus Board of Education, Little Rock Nine, some stories like that, but I had never known that there were people before Rosa Parks, like little things like that were unknown to me. But it's such an educational experience. It was more than just acting for me. It was, it was family. It was just a chance for me to learn and to help to bring awareness and bring knowledge to those of you amazing sitting in the audience. And one thing I just want to quickly note that I love to see is as I look out into the audience, I'm seeing different backgrounds, different heritage, different races, different people. I know it can be awkward sometimes if you are white or if you are, of a certain race and you're hearing these things, like me having to say white scum and all of that. Listen, I don't judge people by race. People are who they are by people. Whoever is that person, it has nothing to do with their race, how they behave. It has to do with what's wrong with them mentally and spiritually and physically. So you know what? This is our history. It's not just black history. It's not just our history. It's our history that we overcame together. Okay? Because there were white people putting their lives on the line too back in the day. It's true. So we're all family. So thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Tahira Tashi, and I played Kenya, who is also a fictional character. It was interesting to play Kenya because me, in real life, my background is closer to Marsha's background. So it was great. It was great though to be so pro Black Power and all that. I loved being able to explore that since it was different from my upbringing. And in terms of the show itself, yeah, I didn't know most of what is in the show until after reading it. Again, I didn't know that there were people who protested segregated Weston before Rosa Parks. That's not something that's talked about. And also what stuck out to me with Pauli Murray is, talking about her sexuality and how she identified, as being a man, being transgender, that's not something that was talked about back then, at all. A lot of people think it's a new concept, it just showed up these past couple of years. It's no, we just never got to hear any of those people's stories. So I'm glad that that was included in the script and we get to talk about one of those people from that time.
Queen, right here.
There's a lot of our history that has been deliberately denied, and it still is. I have a passion to bring out the truth, to let this truth come out, because I know that there is a force out there who's going to say that it promotes hatred, when that's a lie. Truth never promotes hatred. Only ignorance does. There is a force out there that's going to erase it and say that it never happened. Or if it did happen, it wasn't that bad. and other people will control what is permitted, what is now being taken out of schools, what is now being outlawed. My contention is that education should never be confined to the classroom. Never. If we own our education, and we can, it depends on how big your mind is. If we want to own our education, all we have to do is come together collectively, just like we're doing now. If they don't want to teach it in school, fine, we'll teach it ourselves. You want to take it out of the classroom, fine, we'll have it right here. You see, you're not going to stop me. Nothing but God and death is going to stop me. And whatever saying, oh, it's not true, it's outlawed, it's hatred. All right, we are in the house of God, but you know the point that I'm trying to say, okay? You know, I'm going to put it in PG terms. These women here were very precious to me, and they are the silver lining around the pandemic, because that's when I really became familiar with them. How am I going to bring their truth? How am I going to bring their story together collectively without it being just a boring lecture? And that's when, in my mind, I came up with the after party. Now people do it the after party, after all the douchebag, whatever. They come to the after party, and that's where the truth comes out. So, there you have it. Anybody want to share? And I don't know how much time we have left.
You can take 2 or 3 questions.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
First and foremost, thank you so much. I literally saw this on Instagram maybe 2 days ago, and I was like, I want to go, I want to be there. I had no idea what I was signing up for. I kind of just bought a ticket and said I'm going to be in a room. And I am blown away. I feel like emotional a little bit about the thought of these women coming together, having a multi-generational conversation, having an honest and real conversation, thinking about sacred spaces for Black women to come together and be able to tell the truth, and how challenging it is to find that these days. I was so inspired by each of the characters and their stories. Pauli, thank you for telling that story the way that you did. It's moving, especially as a person who identifies as queer as well. It's so moving. My question before I start crying, because I'm crying, y'all.
It's all right, this is a safe space.
My question for each of you is, from your perspective now, having learned what you have learned, having experienced and seen and saw the words and the works of these characters, what is one thing that you would want folks to take away from this beautiful, beautiful conversation and care that was provided in the space? So what's one thing that you would want folks to take away? Thank you.
Everybody looking at me. What I would want you to take away from it is to understand that it is nothing new. That the way people are, generally, they always have been. What has been denied is the space to express it. And what has been upon us is a veil of ignorance that prevents that level of honesty and care to be on the table. Okay? We get so caught up in the trends and what other people are doing and what's accepted. Everybody got to look good. See? Everybody got to look put together. See? But you're not. You're a mess. I know you're a mess because I'm a mess too. That's how I know. Okay? But there was a safe space where we could express that, and the dignity of our humanity was never jeopardized. So what I want you to take away is that love, those beautiful tears, and you lavish that upon somebody else. That's what I want you to do. It's all right.
She summed that up for me. Each one teach one. That's what I want everybody to take from it. It's so much education and so much we didn't even touch on. Like, this is just the tip of her brain. This is like a peek into a vision as Ms. Terri Knight outlines, we barely scratched the surface. There's so much education out there for you, baby. Each one teach one, and go learn.
It's 10 minutes, 10 seconds.
That's right. Does someone else have any
Somebody's
answer?
talking?
I thought somebody was curious. Somebody got nervous.
Okay, I'm saying.
Okay.
Piggybacking off of what you said about each one teach one. Sometimes I think as a community, we teach each other as we should, we uplift each other, but I always have felt it was my responsibility to teach those who were not inside my circle. And I know that there is a frustration with people asking us things, making us their tour guide, making us their educator. Google is free. Google wasn't always around, but it's here now. And it's not perfect, but it's a tool. And so while, yes, I want for people who are not part of this specific struggle, because blacks and whites did contribute to it, to not just hold that knowledge for ourselves, but with people that don't look like us. And the one caveat I've always been in that position. And people around me have been like, everything from like, well, it's their responsibility to find out. Why is it our responsibility? To my aunt being like, girl, I'm just tired. I'm tired of trying to tell people, how it's been or how it's going to go. So I just kind of always am willing to, if I can help reshape your thinking, if I can open your mind, if I can just have you consider another way of looking at it, then I'm contributing to a positive future, then I'm a positive outcome. And I always just ask them, if I'm going to take the time to explain this to you, then I would ask that you go and tell 3 other people.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I'm going to explain it to you. Don't just take my knowledge that I was vulnerable enough. I had to trust you, first of all. Where are you coming from? I don't know where you're coming from. Right? Not everything comes from a good place.
Yes.
So I'm trusting you. I'm acknowledging that you had to trust me, not to go off on you asking this question.
Right.
But I'm asking that I trust you, I'm trusting you to now do something good with it. If you want to know, then don't hold it for yourself. And go and talk to, like they say, don't go to, when they tell the presidential candidates, don't go to the black church and say you're not racist. Go to the white church and tell them that you're not racist. Because you don't necessarily have to be racist, but if the racists think the racist, then it's the same outcome. So I teach one, and I've always thought of that in that way. But as I got older and moved in spaces that were not of my own.
Okay.
But you never know who's listening.
Exactly.
So I
you never know.
I never
You
stop
forget your
talking.
history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Okay.
So I'm always
more
trying to educate.
Yeah.
So that when an opportunity presents itself, I have something to offer, and that hopefully they will offer it, and that's how hopefully long-term change will happen.
So that's already.
Thank you all so much. This was so lovely. Just 2 really quick things. If you came in and wanted to see more work like this and were interested in more information, please see me afterwards. I'm happy to take down your info and add you to the listserv. The second thing that I wanted to stress is that Beacon Theater is a nonprofit. These are the types of stories that they aim to tell. All of the money that we make goes to pay the artists, because all of our shows are free or pay what you can. So if you are at all moved to support these wonderful human beings and other stories that we want to continue to tell, feel free to also see me. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your generosity. Thank you for being here. We are so grateful. One more round of applause.